All right. So you got really pretty close, I think, with a lot of this stuff. This looks pretty solid. I think, looking at the original, um, where the light sort of meets the body is a little bit more fluid. You kind of messed that up, so it feels a little bit more squat. I think the areas that you need to really improve, um, just a little bit more work with the pen tool. Um, right, sort of a few places. Um, right, like right in here, this edge could be feels a little bit too hard. So even if you kind of softened it up like that, that feels a little bit better. Um, the other areas is it sort of feels like you got crazy organization here, like how stuff is set up. You don't need to have like this many layers and this many groups. This feels kind of overkill, right? It gets really hard um, to move stuff around because a lot of times in Illustrator you're going to want to move stuff around the layer, and if you're limited, if this exists in this layer, there's no way that I can get it up above this path over here without actually moving it. So with something like this, because it's not very complicated, you can almost do this entire thing in a single layer. Um, so definitely look into that. And then it just sort of feels like you have a lot of weird sort of extraneous shapes that you don't need. The way that you've kind of built this is a little bit interesting. Um, I guess it's okay. You kind of did it the opposite way that I would have thought to do it, which is you build the body first, and then you lay in the shadows. Um, what you've kind of done is you've built in the shadows, and then you laid in the body on top of it. So you put in the darks instead of putting in the lights first. Um, I suppose that's okay. I guess it's a little bit different than the way that I would have done it. But I guess I can't hold that against you. It sort of works. The reason why I start with the base and then add the shadows is because oftentimes when I'm illustrating something, I'm not necessarily just tracing it. I'm trying to have to find those shadows or trying to have to find the lights. So it becomes a little bit harder whenever you don't know exactly where everything's going to go. But I guess in the case of this, you kind of did. So I guess that works. So the things that I think you just need to keep out, right, is calm down your layers. You don't need this many. Um, and then just keep working with the pen tool, right? You still have areas that could use some work where you have too many points. Um, but I think overall is pretty solid.